Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the charts for Luna, see what's been going on most recently and what I would expect to happen next. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. If you're looking for a little bit more from the crypto space, whether that is bear market strategies or project reviews or trading, then why not check out the Patreon services as well in the description down below. Guys, let's get into this. Luna paired up with USDT on the hourly chart. Binance is the data source. So I'm hearing a lot of noise saying, that Luna's crashed. I don't think there's anything unusual here, really, to be honest with you. It's kind of in line with what we've been talking about on the channel for a while, although admittedly not really on YouTube, but more in Discord. We obviously have just refined today, I think early hours this morning. We're just kind of taking a look at the refinement here, anywhere between 56 and 62, and that seems to be really where we just bounced up from. Low points of 59 and we've moved up a little bit, but the lows are still very much valid here. Essentially I think we are tracking a relatively decent move down, and we're going to go into the ins and the outs of this just in a second. Okay, so essentially it's pulled back quite significantly, but this isn't unusual. It's pretty much in line with the rest of the crypto space as a whole. So let's go ahead, just check a couple of things. So we have this low point just here. Okay, this is basically our A wave low. We'll go ahead and just check it at the top here, and then we'll just go ahead and run this on top of our B wave high. So that bounce coming to the upside here. Okay, and then of course we're pulling back down. We can see that this comes down all the way to the top end of this this little yellow box. 62.97 is what I have it here. So obviously that's a little bit off, but so right about here somewhere. So basically that's the upper end. Okay, so on a 1-to-1 ratio, this C wave here would end at the top of this box. You can see how it's slightly overextending there. Now we can obviously take a look at those sub waves. Okay, so we have this one just here up to that high point that we were just at, and again we can go ahead and just move this up to the bounce, which was over here, and you can see how we come down to that lower range just down here. It's actually a little bit deeper than I actually had this marked out, and this comes in at 56.07 based on where I've just put that. So I'll just go ahead and just check. You can see here that this actually needs to come down ever so slightly, and then we'll just go and bring that back in. Let me just put that back as well. So there you go. You can actually see this is 55.96. So what I will do is I'll just adjust that ever so slightly so that we can get that lined up better. There we go. And so this ends up with our little refinement here. Okay, of the most probable areas of what we're looking for. If I actually go ahead and grab my ABC move, and I'll just draw that from the top here and to our B wave, to the C, so the B wave here, and then the C wave is going to be that lower range. You can see here that we actually bounced from that 786 once, so we pulled back down ever so slightly. This is actually looking like a 5-wave move in this C wave, so it's looking like a 335 corrective pattern. Let me just remove that fib so we don't have that in the way, and we can now remove this one as well. So basically, if we were to dissect this down even further, right, and we were to think about this as a ABC, now you have 5 waves. We're expecting some kind of 5th wave still to come. I think this is all this is all a 3rd wave, if I get my words out. So if I were to zoom in on this and we were to just kind of make this a little bit bigger here, we can kind of get an idea as to what this looks like. So basically, we have let me just grab that there. That is a wave 1, that's a wave 2. I think all of this here really is a wave 3. We're looking for some kind of bounce, and then we'll pull on down into the lower ranges. Now again, we might look for these extensions on this one. Essentially, we are looking and talking about 49.22 being our low point overall. Okay, and this is allowing for a slight overextension. So basically we've got this refined area of about 55.98 through to about $62.97. But what I did is I actually extended this down to the 1.236 just to kind of make sure that we had a bit of breathing room. So there's the possible lower area here, but I don't think it's necessarily going to come in, but I would expect us just to come down ever so slightly lower depending on how 4th wave and how high it goes. So for example, if I'm correct in my thinking here, what we've got is this bounce coming up. Okay, and as we kind of think about how high this might bounce up, it cannot cross our wave 1 low. So, you know, we'll move up significantly to a degree. And if we want it to be in line with, that's actually exactly where we would be. So that would have to stop here and then just reverse right the way back down in order to kind of complete that right on top of our 1-to-1 ratio with our A and our C waves. But, you know, I think if we continue this rise up a little bit slightly higher, and we could be looking at coming down ever so slightly lower than the 55.98. Okay, so we'll just keep that open-minded. But we're right inside that accumulation zone, as I was talking about in our Discord server just this morning. So essentially, yeah, all of this is looking like pretty good accumulation points for Luna. Okay, so that's kind of what's going on the hourly chart. So obviously, we'll just check out that stochastic. It's actually got to come back down. So I think this is just a bounce before pulling back down into this sweet spot. So again, you know, we're not looking for any kind of reversal, like macro reversals at this point. We should still be thinking downward, but there's a couple of bounces to be had before we kind of finish the correction. Okay, so we are still talking about 55.98, potentially ever so slightly lower than that, but for the most part, 55.98 seems to be the bottom there on this one. So let's jump up into our daily view. Okay, and let's actually what I'll do here is let me just move those onto the hourly. I don't need to see them on all of these, so it's just remove those from actually I'll put it on there and off of the daily chart. There we go. Okay, cool. So on our chart here, well, what do we actually see, right? Let me just come back into that hourly chart for a second, because this move here is actually quite an important one. So what I'll do is I will make this one also visible on our daily chart. There we go. And then we'll come up here. There we go. So now we have our little rectangular box here. We can see exactly where we are, right? We're looking for retracement. Now, this is a 5-wave move coming up here, okay? And it's really important that we understand that this is a 5-wave move because that structure means that we're starting with 5 waves. This is looking like some kind of ABC. That makes it 3 waves, which means we should be looking for a minimum of a 5-wave to the upside afterwards, okay? Pretty basic stuff and pretty standard, nothing too strenuous about that. But obviously, we've got to understand this retracement zone, this point that I had picked out down at 49.22. Why do I choose this area? It's not just for a random reason after all. Okay, we actually take a look at this. We can see what is the most typical retracement area for a wave 2. Okay, where does a wave 2 normally retrace to? You can see here they're usually relatively deep, right? So when you have a wave 2, it comes down pretty deeply. And if I were to actually just go ahead and mark up just inside here where our typical wave 2 would be, and it will just overlap with this accumulation zone I have marked out. A typical wave 2 is right there inside that sweet spot. Okay, so the low area of this is actually $55.16. Again, just on that 1-to-1 ratio that we were talking about at $55.98 is a typical low point for a wave 2. Okay, so thinking about this as an ABC, some kind of corrective play with a 5-wave move at the end there, and we are talking about this potentially being married up very typically with what a wave 2 would look like. Now, why am I talking about wave 2 corrections? Well, a wave 2 correction is absolutely vital considering what might happen next. Okay, so when we take a look at this, what do we have? Well, we have this as a potential wave 1, because it has a 5-wave structure to it. This could be our wave 2, as it's a 3-wave structure. And we could have a really good wave 3 with another 5-wave structure going up, some kind of 4th wave, and then some kind of 5th wave going up after that. Okay, so this is important because obviously it does mean that we're talking about going up into new all-time highs and all of that kind of good stuff. Now, if I zoom out even further on this daily chart, what does this look like? Well, we have this ABC structure looking for a 1-to-1 ratio, about $325. So if we are right down here at the moment and we were to think about this kind of ABC, or sorry, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure, we are talking about moving up into a very typical wave C 1-to-1 ratio on a macro scale. So ultimately, Luna is tracking in a very decent wave 2 correction at the moment, although this is not yet confirmed until we have a wave 3 pushing up quite significantly. So let's go ahead and just actually mark up these areas that we want to be focusing in on. So for Luna, we want to see a 5-wave structure moving up towards $223. That there would mark our wave 3 high, and then of course we'd have a wave 4 that cannot go down any lower than our wave 1 high, and then it would have that final push going up higher. So again, if we were to run from this point and we were to think about, well, how low this is potentially going to go with a wave, let's say 4, then essentially if our wave 4 does come down at a later stage, pulling us down a little bit, a wave 5 could be moving up towards that $325 pretty much comfortably, and it would be within the realms of scope here. And I think this is also something that 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘's following, and many other altcoins as well, following this kind of 5-wave structure towards the end of this play. It is, of course, still a corrective play. There's nothing trend-based about this on a macro scale. It is all just an ABC kind of 3-wave structure, and this would basically just be indicating, again, another 5-3-5 zigzag pattern here overall. So again, we know we're right inside that kind of pattern and moving up to those new all-time highs. So this is all speculation until, of course, we have a 5-wave structure moving up towards $223. But yeah, essentially, none of this is unusual. None of this is unexpected. This is all stuff that we've been talking about for a while. And yeah, we're right down inside this sweet spot. You can see that we're just pushing up into that 4th wave. We should look for the pullback as we head up into the overbought area on the hourly. And that'll get us down into this accumulation zone where eventually we'll actually see Bitcoin do a reversal when that gets down to its lower ranges, which I would anticipate is when Luna's down at this $55 range. And then, yeah, we're really pushing up much higher into and hopefully a really good structure. So guys, I'm going to leave the video there. I'm not going to ramble on anymore. If you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.